Choosing to catalog an item on a different OCLC record. These procedures are for items with records that exist in the institution zone, exist in the network zone, are linked in the institution zone and the network zone, contain an OCLC number in the 035 of the record in ALMA, and need to be overlaid with an OCLC record that differs from the record that has been chosen in ALMA. In order to follow these procedures, you'll need to have OCLC connection configured for working in the network zone gateway. As our example, let's catalog the title, The United States, the Soviet Union, and the Arab-Israeli Conflict, 1948 to 67. We'll begin by doing a repository search for this item in ALMA. We see that the record for our item has come up. We're looking at this record in the institution zone because the institution tab is active. And we can also see that this record is currently attached or connected to a record in the network zone. We can tell that because the icon of the man with the blue face appears next to the title. Let's take a look at this record. We can see from looking at this record that it's not quite as full as we'd like. It would be good if this record had subject headings, a call number, a complete 300 field. So we know we're going to want to go out to OCLC connection and bring in a more complete record to overlay this record for cataloging. Let's go back. And we can look at this record in the network zone by clicking on the network tab. And here we can tell that this record is held by my institution. So the record in the institution zone and the record in the network zone are linked. Let's go to connection and see if we can find a better record. So we see that 4 records have come up. This first record is a German record, so we're not going to be interested in using that one. And the third record is an electronic record. And our piece is a physical item, so we're also not going to be interested in using that record. But I see that this fourth record is a DLC record. So let's take a look at that one. This looks like a very good record, and we'll say that it matches our piece exactly. So this is going to be the record that we'd like to choose to catalog this item on. In order to bring this record in and overlay this record on the record for this item that currently exists in ALMA, we need for the 035 of the record in ALMA and the OCLC number of this record to be the same. Let's return to ALMA and to the institution zone and take a look at our record. Let's go back to connection. And we note that the OCLC number of the record that we like and the OCLC number in the 035 of our record in ALMA are not the same. So we're going to need to edit the 035 of that ALMA record. Let's go back to ALMA, and we can open this record in the metadata editor by clicking Edit. The metadata editor has opened, and we see that the MARC record is here and ready to be worked on. Let's click on a field above where we'd like to add our new 035 field. And we can create a new field by pressing F8, or we could also select Edit Add Field from the menu to add a new blank field. We want to add an 035, and both of our indicators will be blank. And then we also need to enter OCLC in parentheses. And next we want to add the OCLC number of the record that we'd like to bring in. So let's go back to connection. We can copy and paste our OCLC record number and paste it right here. Now you can see that we still have 2 remaining 035s containing the OCLC number of the record we want to get rid of. We need to delete these fields, so we can remove them by clicking in the field so it's active and then going to Edit, Remove Field. Or we could also delete them by using the hotkey Control F6. Now that we have deleted our old OCLC numbers and entered our new OCLC number, we need to save and release this record by choosing File, Save and Release Record, or we could use hotkey Control-Alt-R. When I click on Save and Release Record, the record will be automatically updated in the network zone, and it will also be released in the metadata editor. Now we can exit the metadata editor by clicking back. And let's click back again. Now let's return to connection. And we can now export the record that we found that we'd like to use from connection. We can do this by pressing the hotkey F5. And we now see the message that the record has been processed successfully, and it gives us the MMS ID of the record in ALMA. We can copy and paste this number into ALMA. And when we open this record now, we'll see that the incomplete record that formerly existed in ALMA has now been overlaid with that more complete record that we just exported from OCLC connection. From here, we can open this record in the metadata editor and add any local fields that we need to add and do any editing to this record. And we can also complete our holdings and our item information. Let's open the record by clicking on Edit. And let's access our inventory by clicking on the clipboard icon or using Control I. We see that we have a holdings record and an item record here. Let's edit our holdings by clicking on Edit. Let's make this screen larger. We can use the form editor to help us complete this call number by going to Edit, Open Form Editor. We want the location for this item to be at main, but we want our shelving location to be main D. So we can select that from this drop-down menu. When we're done using the form editor, we can go to Edit, Close Form Editor. And when we save our holdings record, ALMA will automatically bring in the call number from the bibliographic record into the holdings record. Now we can edit our item record by going to View Inventory again, View Items, Actions, Edit. We can enter a barcode. I'll just make one up. And we can do any other editing that we need to do in this item record, and then we'll click Save. We can now go back. We'll see our holdings record again, and we need to release the holdings record and the bibliographic record when we're done working on them. We can release in a couple of different ways. We could choose File, Save, and Release. We need to release our bibliographic record as well. We can do that by choosing File, Save, and Release again, or we can click on Mark 21 Bibliographic and release all of our records. Now let's go back and do another repository search in ALMA and make sure that everything looks good. And you can see this is the record in our institution zone. We now have a call number and a note that the copy is available. You can look at the record. And it's that full record that we just brought in from connection. Let's go back. Now let's look at this record in the network zone. You can click on the Network tab. And we see that the network zone record has also been successfully updated with the full record that we brought in from connection, and that there's a note that it is held by my institution.